In this movement demo, we're going to be going over the McGill Curl Up. This is a great exercise to learn how to build tension around the trunk to create that tensile strength that's going to be needed for any athletic movement. So we're going to start with the athlete laying down in prone. He's going to take his hands, interlock them, and place them underneath the small of his back. Our goal here is to maintain that natural lumbar curve. Each and every one of us has a different degree of that. So it's going to be dependent on you. You could start with your fingers super close together or spread them apart depending on the way that your curve is designed. We're going to start with the setup now, beginning down at the foot and the ankle. We're going to dorsiflex his left foot, pulling it up towards the shin. He's going to kick that heel out, creating internal rotation at the femur. His right leg is going to become bent. So we're going to put his foot flat on the ground. And I like keeping the athlete barefoot so he can learn how to develop that sense of awareness and proprioception in the bottom of the foot. He's going to keep the weight over his big toe, his fifth toe, and his heel, creating a tripod. And he's going to actively press down into the floor slightly to create a little bit of hip extension. Up at the head and the neck, we're going to create a little bit of a chin tuck here slightly, almost like he's going to be trying to press the back of the head into the floor. To begin the movement, we're going to bring his elbows up off the floor and hold them there. Now, this movement is going to be optimized by creating awareness with the breath and creating a good position with the breath. We're going to focus on the rib cage and the pelvic floor. So, athlete is going to take a big breath in, inhaling, think about that air moving down the front of his chest all the way into his pelvic floor, creating pressure down in that bowl. As he exhales, he's going to push out all the air, bringing his rib cage down to his pelvis while he squeezes his butthole. That is going to be able to create a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt down there at the low pelvis area and not create an overhaul of a big tilt, which is going to bring the pelvis completely underneath, and we're going to lose that curve in the lumbar spine. So Bryce is going to take a big breath in, all the way in, bring it down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, squeeze the butt, hold, bring that rib cage down towards his pelvis. Now this is going to be his brace position. With this, we get activation of the internal and the external obliques and the transverse abdominis. And we can picture our pelvic floor and our diaphragm sitting on top of each other, nice and aligned. After this, he's going to maintain this brace position, sip air in, and as he does, he's going to bring his chest and his head ever so slightly up off the floor. I'm going to ask the athlete now to take good breaths in and out of this brace position. We're going to go for 5 full breaths in and out, focusing on that exhale. So we're going to inhale and exhale. Making that exhale longer than the inhale to engage a little bit more of parasympathetic nervous system activity and teach the brain control and allow it to accept this position. After his 5th breath, we're going to come down, we're going to shake it all out, and then we're going to reset with another new breath. Inhale, all the way through the front of the chest, down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, squeeze the butt, pulling that rib cage down to the pelvis. Got a nice position, sip air in, head and chest come up off the floor slightly, and we're going to hold and breathe for 5 breaths. I like to get 3 sets with the right leg bent, and then we're going to switch and get 3 sets of 5 breaths with the left leg bent.